Hey there, Griff Hamlin here from Blues Guitar Unleashed. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about technique and some stuff that you can do just for a few minutes each day. Nothing complicated. Stuff that you can use to sort of focus on having your hand in the right position, which is a really big deal. Getting comfortable notes. So you don't have to push really hard and everything's not really clacky and messy. And we just want to have nice, clean notes. And there's a couple of things that you can do that will, really keep that going. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I stole everything that I'm about to show you from somebody. Various people, either guitar teachers or other guitar players throughout my career. I didn't make up any of this, and I absolutely, I say that, I don't try to hide it, but I have no idea where I got all these different things from. So I'm going to show you some different options. I'm sure some of them you've seen before, but maybe there's a couple that you haven't. Who knows? If there is, cool, you got something new to play with. So let's kind of jump in. I'll say that the classic technique, warm-up, drill, whatever you want to call it, is, some people call it like the spider exercise or whatever. It's nothing more than playing one finger on each fret. Turning up the volume does help dramatically. Which actually brings up a good point. If you play electric guitar, don't try to do this unplugged. There's a chance that if you do this unplugged and you can't hear it well enough, you may be making some mistakes, or you may be using more force than is absolutely necessary. And I really want to make a big deal out of the force thing, because obviously you could potentially injure yourself long term. And we don't want that. That would be very bad, okay? So what I want you to do, make sure that you at least have it. If you're using an acoustic, cool, you'll be able to hear it. If you're using an electric, plug it in, at least turn it up to the point that you can hear it. Put in a headphone if you have to, whatever. Make it so that you can hear yourself comfortably. What I'm going to do is, you can see right now, if I play the first fret, the second fret, the third fret, and the fourth fret, what I want you to notice, and what is most important, is the fact that all four of my fingers are still on the fretboard. Now granted, I'm not pushing hard with these three, but I did not lift them up. Okay? Every time I push a finger down or up, that's a movement, okay? So the first thing is that it's more efficient to go one movement, two movement, three movement, four movement, than it is to go one movement, two and three movement, four and five movement, six and seventh movement, right? That's too much stuff. It's just too much going on, right? So you also have to time it perfectly, right? If I go from this finger to this finger, I have to lift this one up just at the same time that I put that one down. That's hard. I don't like things that are hard. Okay, here's the other thing. When I put these four fingers into position, notice that my thumb is comfortably right in the back of the neck, exactly where it should be, facing up towards the ceiling, not out towards the headstock. Here's what happens. Let's say that my thumb were in the wrong place, facing towards the headstock. Notice that my fingers have now collapsed. Okay? So if you do this and you put your fingers here, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your hand position is correct. You might have to lift your guitar up, by the way. That's a really common problem, is people try to play with their guitar way down here somewhere, and then, obviously I gotta drop my wrist super, super low. That's very, very hard. So put your knee up on something higher. Do whatever you gotta do to get your guitar up a little higher. That often helps. That's one of the biggest things that solves this problem. But notice that I've got all four fingers here comfortably. I'm not straining. This is comfortable. I can sit here all day. I'm not pushing right now, but they're just sitting here. And if you are getting one finger on each fret comfortably, you know that your technique is correct. Okay? You know that you're playing properly. So you can continue through the strings. Okay, and I can go down, up with my pick. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just downs. But I want you to focus on one more thing that I don't hear discussed, as well as the having all four fingers down. I want you to practice playing very quietly. And the reason that you want to do this very quietly is because you will be inclined to use a minimum amount of pressure. Okay, I want to get you used to what's the minimum, not the maximum, what's the minimum amount of pressure you can use to get the notes solid, and use that much. Don't use more. It doesn't help to push harder on the notes. That doesn't make them sound better. It doesn't make them more in tune. If anything, it makes them less in tune. If you use more strength and more monkey grip to get the notes to come out, you're doing yourself a disservice in a lot of ways. So we want you to get comfortable playing with minimum pressure. So I'm picking lightly, and I'm kind of thinking about fretting lightly. Now, when I come down, so I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I get to the top. There's a couple of things I can do. I usually slide up a fret and then come back down. It doesn't matter whether you do it in the same fret or not. Notice that all of my fingers are down. That's good. I'm going to lift them up one at a time. 1 movement, 2 movements, 3 movements. 1 movement to put them all down. 2, 3, 4. Notice that I put it all down. This may be something you've never heard before. Okay? If I try to do this thing, I'm going to use way more pressure than I need. I've also got to time it to be perfect, and that's hard to do. Right? If I've got that one down, I have to push this one down and lift this one up. Push that one down, lift that one up. And time all that. Okay, and so what you end up with is you end up with choppy notes. We don't want choppy notes. We want smooth notes. Again, another reason to play quietly, calmly. Now, I get that this is not blues, which does kind of take a little bit extra grunt and monkey grip to, pull the strings and wrangle all this stuff. I get that. But not everything is going to require that. Some things will, some things won't. You need to have control. You need to be able to do that when it's time to do that, but you need to be able to not do that when it's not time to do that. In my experience, more people are comfortable with that than something nice and comfortable and smooth and flowing, which for like chords, right? When I have stuff like that, I don't want to have like big meaty hands on it. I want finesse. I want nice sound, smooth, comfortable sound, right? So a couple of variations that you can do on this. And again, I'm sure I stole these things. I'm sure folks will tell me where I stole them because I can't remember. But I'm sure some of you will know where this stuff comes from. Probably Steve Vai. I almost guarantee I got some of these from Steve Vai, but maybe not all of them, not sure. So you can do, of course, all 4 fingers together. And then I go up. Now as you get faster with it, you get to a point where it's not practical to actually get all 4 fingers down. And so you'll notice that I'm a little out of sync there, but it doesn't matter because I'm always ahead. I'm trying, when you work towards doing it perfectly, you're close enough. It tends to be close enough. So that's kind of how that works. So aim for perfection, even if you can't necessarily get it. You can rearrange the order of the fingers. This is kind of what we're doing. First of all, you don't have to use all 4 fingers. You can do it with like 3 fingers, first, third, and fourth. This is the way I often do it. Right, just because it's a different number of picks. Now I use slip picking or sweep picking, whatever you want to call it. You do a strict alternate picking. If I can remember. But again, see, putting all 3 down. I can do just my first, second, and fourth. Right? Continue, and I usually continue up until my pinky's at the 12th fret. So this, you know, it only takes a few minutes, really. You can add a fret. And a string. So you're getting used to these position shifts. You can rearrange the order that the fingers come in. This one I know I stole from Steve Vai. So first finger, now second finger goes first. Now third finger goes first. Now fourth finger goes first. First finger goes first. Second finger goes first. Third finger goes first. Fourth finger goes first. First, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth. Right, et cetera, et cetera. And that one's kind of weird. I get it. It took me a really long time to get to where I could do that and just play it like that. So be patient with yourself on that one. It definitely takes some time. You can do the same thing with like 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Right, so I can do the same thing if I use 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So first finger first, second finger first, fourth finger first. Okay, all those different things. And in all of that process, you'll get your fingers used to making lots of strange configurations. Are those always going to come up? No, not necessarily, but it gives you a lot of independence with your fingers. And the main thing, like I said, is concentrating on playing, I'll say quietly, instead of, right? That's not efficient in the long run. Again, there will be time where we can have that, but you need to have the ability particularly if you want to play fast. That's going to require that you have that subtlety available to you. Okay, so I know this is a little bit of a long-winded video in the sense that I've kind of just thrown a lot of things out there. You can, by the way, you can also do stuff like with different strings. You can do stuff like that where you go, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't do that one very often. So I'm kind of switching. So first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth, first, second. And it's just kind of, all over the place. I mean, again, good for your picking, good for your fingers, just all this stuff. If it's really, really challenging to play it down here, try it up maybe around the 5th fret. Right, that's another, it's a little bit, might be a little bit more comfortable there. This can sometimes be, again, if you get guitar up a little bit higher, that might be easier. But try to keep the notes even. Remember, not, right? We want nice connected notes. Quiet, smooth, quiet. It's the only time I'm gonna tell you to play smooth and quiet. Right? It's just, it makes sense there. So that's just a whole lot of options. And you can just kind of pick 2 or 3 of those that work for you. You don't have to do the same ones every day. Pick 2 or 3 of them, spend 5-10 minutes on it, and just watch how things get better. Spending that 5 or 10 minutes really concentrating on your technique and how you approach the strings and how you play stuff will make a big difference. It'll start to permeate everything that you play. Okay, it's worth your time to do. So that's it. As always, I hope you dig the video. I hope you'll take some time and work with it. If you have guitar playing friends, I know this isn't blues. This works, believe me, for any style of music. It's imperative, I believe, for any style of music. So if you have guitar playing friends, please feel free to share it with them. As always, I'm Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.